the station that's on your side. This is News 12, NBC 26 at 11.
A brush fire stretching for miles in Jackson, South Carolina, and crews are still out there on the scene tonight.
Plus, another night of freezing temperatures ahead, but there is better news on the horizon.
But first tonight, someone passing by spotted a man from Stonecrest, Georgia, shot in a ditch on the side of the road.
Yesterday afternoon, the Aiken County Sheriff's Office responded to calls about that man on Kitchens Road, right near Old Barnwell Road. And when deputies got to the scene, they found that victim, Jarvon Stapleton, shot multiple times. He was taken to Aiken Regional Medical Center, then to AU, where he died.
Tonight, firefighters still dealing with a brush fire in Aiken County stretching 2 to 4 miles caused by sparks from a train.
Crews rushed to the scene to find dozens of fires stretching along the tracks near Jackson, surrounding the area of Main Street and Old Jackson Highway. And you can see a little earlier tonight, those were still burning for much of the way. We've got News 12 Taylor Martin live out there tonight where they're still battling some of these hot spots.
Well, teamwork is the word that would sum up what was seen today on the train tracks in Jackson. And I spoke with one of the firefighters that was out there putting out the fire, and he says he's just grateful that there were New Ellington Fire Department, Beach Island, and other departments that came out to help them with the fight. The smell of burning wood and smoke still fresh in the Jackson air hours after the fire started.
I mean, it was traveling towards the field. We started noticing that there's a lot of homes out here, so it was quick action to get down there and knock the important hot spots out.
As smoke filled the air for miles off of Jackson Highway, the Jackson Fire Department worked fast thanks to a call from a nearby homeowner.
They were looking down the line and noticed that it was fire on both sides of the line. So with that being said, they did the right thing, called 911.
Windy and dry conditions on a day with an elevated fire risk caused smoke to travel as crews worked to put out the fires. Captain Sizemore says that wind could have made this much worse.
It can change in a heartbeat. The wind pattern can shift these fires all kind of different ways. We've had a good bit of rain, but no rain's enough.
Captain Sizemore says in an area where homes are hard to reach, set back in the woods, he's grateful for the teamwork they saw today.
It's a blessing. We go back and forth with all these departments. We have mutual aid agreements, and we have each other's back at the end of the day. So if one needs us here or they need us there, we'll come. After a long, hard day at work, they come home, and this is what, they're dedicated to do.
And earlier, they were still putting out some of the brush fire and the smoke, and the fire department is still investigating what exactly it is that started the fire on the train tracks. But we have reached out to Norfolk Southern and CSX to see which train company may be investigating.
All right, they did have their hands full this afternoon, and the conditions could not have been worse for fighting a brush fire this afternoon.
Seriously dry, kind of windy weather. And Riley, you say we're also expecting some freezing temps tonight into the morning.
Yeah, very cold temperatures again tonight.
The South Carolina Department of Probation, Parole, and Pardons testing a new device to monitor sex offenders across the state. The director of the field program says instead of using ankle monitors, the agency will use a bracelet to keep up with certain offenders. They're just in the beginning stages of testing that new technology. A group called Incarceration Transparency South Carolina says at least 777 people have died in South Carolina detention centers from 2015 through 2021. Most were in state-run facilities, but the study shows the Spartanburg County Detention Center with more deaths in those 7 years than any other in the state, with 18 deaths. And since last October, at least 3 other people have died in Spartanburg County's detention center. A mom whose son was in custody there says law enforcement still hasn't told her everything that happened for the 5 hours her son was in custody.
Every night I go to bed, I don't have my son and don't know why. Every morning I wake up, I don't have my son, I don't know why. I mean, y'all standing out here, you have family members. Put yourself in my shoes.
She says her son suffered from schizophrenia and was arrested for walking in the street. In Augusta, we've had reports of 7 inmate deaths in the last 3 years.
A parent is charged with reckless conduct after a teacher found a gun in a Blue Ridge Elementary student's backpack today. And in a separate incident, a student was caught with a knife at Harlem Middle School. Administrators say that student was showing it off to other students. The student has been charged with possession of a weapon on school property. An update on the renovations for the Bell Auditorium. Contractors working on the project say the overall price for renovation is not cheap, about $17.5 million, but that does not include expenses like chairs, tables, and a bar. Those will cost another $450,000. The auditorium will close in July. It will stay closed until May of 2024.
Doctors Hospital in Fort Gordon